I got graphics. I got stats. Let's get to some of this Pettersson stuff. Let's get to the Pettersson line scoring rate right now, because you mentioned it. That line right now, the way that they're playing, it's kind of ridiculous to watch what this team is doing right now. Let's get to the first one. This is from Mike Kelly, NHL. Does a lot of work with some of the analytics communities. Some good stuff there from Mike Kelly. There are 49 lines with at least 100 minutes played at 5-on-5. None of them have scored at a higher rate than the Mikheyev, Pettersson, Kuzmenko line in Vancouver. I mean, line is scoring a lot at 5-on-5. You talk about the even strength goals that Pettersson has up to this point in the season. Man, I tell you, it's been damn impressive to see what they're doing, and this line's really starting to click. And I've seen some people ask about this, and it was actually asked to me in the mailbag this week, like, could Brock Besser go to that line? Is that going to be better? And right now, you can't break up this trio.
No.
Like, you can't break up this trio the way they're playing. Something is really working with the way that these three players are playing together.
Stéphane Rouget has a write-up right now.
Yeah, me and him were talking today. We're not...
okay.
We're barely on speaking terms, me and Stéphane Rouget.
Okay. Really good article by him today, Stéphane Rouget, over at Canucks Army. And it's about how the Pettersson, Kuzmenko, Mikheyev trio has been the best line in hockey as of late. And right now, they are playing like the best line in the NHL. So they top the league in goals for per 60 as a line. It's unbelievable what they're doing right now. Like, they're top of the league by a pretty wide margin. Basically what it comes down to is they're scoring nearly a goal and a half for every 10 minutes that they spend together on the ice, that trio. That's unbelievable. And that's through 132 minutes of a sample size. Second place is the St. Louis Blues with Josh Leivo. Yes, that Josh Leivo, Ryan O'Reilly, and Brandon Saad. And again, they're only averaging 5.89 goals per 60 minutes.
That's the second best line?
That's the second best line. And the Kuzmenko, Pettersson, Mikheyev trio is 6.38 per 60.
Jeez,
so 5.89 is the second.
Yeah, this was the funny way that Mike Kelly tweeted this out, was like goals per 20 minutes. And I was like, well,
that's an
interesting way to approach it, I guess. But
well, it's like us saying, well, the Canucks have won 4 of their last 5. Yeah, don't include 6 or 7 in there. And then 5.8 goals is third with the Florida Panthers line of Tkachuk, Barkov, and Verhaeghe.
Corey also said, I missed this in the chat. The shirt is awesome. It'll come with a free hot dog. Tell you what, I catch you wearing this shirt down at Costco before the game. 5 free hot dogs from me.
Yeah, we really want to start selling these shirts. I think it'd be cool to see them around more.
I love these shirts.
Yeah, they're great shirts. Okay.
Sorry,
that trio. That's okay.
The St. Petersburg line. What do you think about that? I see that in the chat.
Yeah, I don't know. The goals against... I don't think
Mikheyev played for Ska, though.
No, he didn't.
He didn't. He played for that team with the little dog with the pointy nose.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Avangard.
Okay. Anyways,
yeah, like that.
So the line, what makes them so good is, again, not just the goals for per 60, it's also the goals against per 60. There, they rank 26th best in the league, 17th amongst lines that have played at least 100 minutes together. And again, when you consider they're the top offensive line, a lot of those lines ahead of them on the defensive side aren't top offensive lines. So this is what makes them so effective. This is what makes them the best line in hockey right now. Ilya Mikheyev, I believe he was asked by, it was either Patrick Johnson or IMAC, both friends of the show. Sorry if I mixed up who asked it.
PJ, not really a friend of the show. He's texting me all morning.
PJ's a friend of the show. They asked Mikheyev and Kuzmenko about Pettersson, and Patrick Johnson has a fantastic write-up right now about Elias Pettersson and kind of that line. He has it up. He wrote it during the road trip when he was getting all those quotes, which was great. And in there, I believe it was in there, Ilya Mikheyev basically called Pettersson the brain of the line. Like, he's our brain. Like, we know where to go because he knows where we're going to be, type thing. Like, that's kind of what Mikheyev was saying, was that Petey's the driving force on that line. And again, you think of line mates that he's had success with. Like, I was looking at it and just like, he was effective with Goldobin and Louis Eriksson when he broke into the league.
Elite.
Like, that was his line mates when he broke into the league. Okay. And then
he's got super similar numbers. Kuzmenko in his start, Goldobin, similar time, similar numbers.
We're not doing this again.
No, I'm saying similar numbers as Goldobin was doing when Pettersson broke into the league. So,
okay.
Smart players work well with Pettersson.
They do. And again, this is my point, is that the common factor here is that the Canucks best line, like the lines that have been the best in hockey. And I'm not saying Goldobin, Pettersson,
Don't
and
make
Eriksson.
me get the Goldobin cards out.
I'm not saying Goldobin, Eriksson, and Pettersson was ever the best line in hockey, but Pettersson scored like 10 goals in his first 10 games, playing largely with those guys as his wingers. So my point here is that the Lotto line, which was one of the most effective lines in hockey and was the best line in hockey, I believe, for a good 2 or 3 months during the 2019-20 season, they were the best line in hockey. And now you've got this line, which right now is playing like the best line in hockey. The common factor here is Elias Pettersson's playing really well. And he's playing with a lot of confidence. And again, that's what leads to this two-way success. Like you get people who, maybe don't watch the Canucks as much, think that this is what the idea that JT Miller was the center on the Lotto line. That's not how it worked. JT Miller took the faceoffs and then they switched immediately when it came to playing defense. Like Pettersson took the defensive responsibilities of a center in that year. So again, it's not like this two-way play from Pettersson is just falling out of nowhere. Like people have been talking and writing about this for a long time. The difference now is that he's playing against top lines, and it looks like he's going to be doing it consistently now. And again, like I know the top line thing has only happened with the past 3 or 4 games. I've been impressed with that, but you watch this line play, and you have to think that this line's success is going to stay even in this top matchup role.
Yeah, Alex, maybe you can pull this one up, the Pettersson line stats, just watching what these players are doing together. The interesting thing for me is, and I think this comes a lot from, not this one, Alex, the other one. Come on, Alex. The other one with the Pettersson line together. I just think the interesting part, and yeah, not a great looking graphic here from my end, so I'll take the L on that one. But the note that I wanted to bring up was the high danger shot attempts with this line. Right now, clicking at, I got to zoom in here, 63.93% of the high danger shot attempts are being controlled by that line. I mean, they are putting up, you're making it worse, Alex. Jeez.
Anyway, don't be mean to Alex. He controls everything.
He's got me again there. But no, I think that's the impressive thing for me is how much this line is doing a good job of getting to the net. And I remember we showed the Pettersson shot chart last week on the show, and how he's really shooting from all over the ice, right? It's not just one spot where he's getting his shots off. He's getting it from all over on the ice. I bet, and I'm going to have to look at this in the next, basically after the show finishes now, because I have to see. I'm very curious to see where the shots are coming from Kuzmenko and Mikheyev at 5-on-5, because if you see so many of these high danger shot attempts, to me, it's like Mikheyev's getting a lot from the slot. Kuzmenko's getting a lot from that left side of the net. And I feel like this is without even looking at where they're actually coming from. This is just like what I feel like. And I think a lot of that is coming from Pettersson's work at beating a player in the offensive zone and then creating a really good passing lane to set up for a high danger shot. And that's why this line is not only listen, they've been really good together. I think their on ice shooting percentage is like at 18%. So that's not going to stay there. But at the same time, I don't think that it's just relying on these long shots, getting lucky and beating goaltenders. I really think a lot of this is coming from the process of getting to the dirty areas. And this is a trio that's working together really well at that, and also creating some stuff on the odd man rushes as well. Like this is a lot of fun to watch. And I don't think you can break this trio up right now. I will be interested to see what happens with Brock Besser and potentially getting back on the Horvat and Miller line, because they weren't that great to start the season, but I also think JT Miller wasn't as great to start the season. So I'm curious to see what happens with Brock Besser moving forward there. And the other thing with lineup combinations, I'm curious to get your thoughts on this before we get to the poll here. Is Podkolzin getting in anytime soon? What's going on there? I mean, he's 3 games now, has not been in the lineup. I mentioned it, 3-game win streak. You don't want to really change so much of what's going on there. You also don't want Podkolzin sitting for a very long time either. So I'm curious to see what happens, which player might come out.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised we haven't seen, I think Höglander has been, he's at his moments where he fits in on that top line, or not really top line anymore, but when he fits in on that line with Horvat and Miller, he's also had some moments where he doesn't really fit in well. And I'm curious to see what Podkolzin might look like in that spot. I think that might be the spot where he comes in, which is crazy to think that he goes in, out of the lineup one night, but then playing in one of the top 6 lines the next night so easily. But that's kind of the versatility the Canucks have with this lineup. I think that's the spot where Podkolzin might come in here soon, because I don't think Höglander's been he's been fine at times, but I also don't think he fits extremely well with that duo there.
I think Podkolzin would fit.
I think he would too. Another big body to, but the thing is, Podkolzin just hasn't had it this year with some of his shot attempt. His shot hasn't been there. His playmaking hasn't really been there. It's definitely been a down start to the season for Podkolzin, which is fortunate, man. We talked about this on the show, how high were our expectations for him coming into the year, right? So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Cody Severson threw out in the stand sheets last night. Did a great job on the stand sheets.
Yeah, I muted him in the chat.
The line was best with apologies to Chris Faber. And he basically said, Faber didn't track KHL Corsi to watch Podkolzin sit for 4 straight games.
No, I know. I read it.
And he
You know what else
kinda
I
threw
read
out
in
the
that in the
idea.
stand? Well, we're talking about the stanchies there last night. I send Cody this. I put all this work in. I got the dog. I send the whole thing down, and all he does is talk about the dog rating.
And you
Doesn't
know
even
what?
include one. And what do
You
I
know
see in
what?
the comments? Where's the dog rating? Where's the dog rating? Where's the dog rating?
Did people really want the dog rating?
Fire Sievertson was trending on Canucks Army last night. It was unbelievable, is what it was.
I'm pretty sure people really liked the stanchies that he wrote last night. People have been getting mad at Wyatt. I'm not sure if it's a bunch of his old editors making burner accounts.
You pick and choose the comments you saw. What did I see yesterday? A lack of people weren't happy about the dog rating.
People were mad that Wyatt has a high word count, and it's not just me who wants less work to do.
Yeah, those are all your burner ones in there.
No, they're not. I don't mind editing the long stanchies. Sometimes I'm just like, man, how does Wyatt get 4,000 words in here? Because
in a 2-1 game.
Yeah, 2-1 game, and it's 4,000 words. You know, it works though. It works.
I got a big, huge prospects report because it's a Monday one. So we have lots of time to talk tomorrow.
Hang on a sec. Hang on. One thing that I wanted to put on the radar so that we don't forget it and the listeners can hold us accountable if we gloss over it if the team keeps winning. Something to consider. How does the team starting to win games and how does the team starting to win games affect them with their trade deadline approach? How does it affect what's going on with Bo Horvat? Bo Horvat's still scoring goals.
Yeah, everyone's talking about this though. Let's get to
I know I'm saying everybody's talking about it and we're not going to talk about it today, but I'm putting it on the radar and I'm not letting people think that we forgot and we're just like, oh, they're winning. It's great. They're going to make the playoffs now, which they might. We'll talk about it because, hey, don't look now. They're in a better spot right now than they were when all those changes were made last year and they got the Bruce bump. And right now it feels like they're getting their own little Bruce bump right now, but it's not a Bruce bump. It's just them trying. And again, like we said it when it happened, but I can't reiterate this enough. Bruce didn't deserve everything he's been through this year from the outside noise. Well, the inside noise, I guess you could call it. But Bruce didn't deserve to have his systems and all that stuff questioned by media and stuff. And I'm not criticizing the media. I'm saying, we have to ask him about that, obviously. And players talking about structure and stuff. Like, the players said it the whole time that it was about them figuring it out. And I know they don't want to throw their coach that they like under the bus, but like, it looks like they're starting to figure it out. And I don't know if you can see it. I don't see a huge change in systems or anything that's led to this or a change in structure. Like, the players are just trying harder, it looks like.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I just
keep my eye. I think you're getting some strong play from your top players. I think you're getting a little bit of depth adding in. You're still lacking the goaltending. So I mean, like, special teams is starting to click a little bit too, right? Like the penalty kill is not letting them down. Remember how much JT Miller talked about how this team wouldn't be that bad if their penalty kill could do anything at the start of the season last year. They make the playoffs if they, if everything goes that way, if their penalty kill started to pick it up. But again, they're sitting at last time I checked, 67% or something like that on the penalty kill. You can't do that and be a playoff team, no matter how good you are. Bruce looking over my shoulder again here on the old YouTube here.
I love that we're like, Bruce didn't deserve that, and Bruce just was pissed at you last week. I love that.
Oh yeah, he wasn't happy with me. Though.
That's funny. Anyway, okay.
I think we're cool. We're cool.
No, he wasn't actually pissed. It was just really funny that he kind of snapped.
He gave me the stare though too.
He was frustrated. He was just frustrated. He wasn't mad at you.
Not that stare, Alex. The worst one. We got to get Alex the other screen.
Okay,